We are required by the State Health Department to post that warning on our menu.
A man is dead after eating a raw oyster at a Sarasota restaurant. Plus, the Northport police chief getting sworn in tonight, what he has to say about his new position. And a local nonprofit is vandalized once again. Your Suncoast News starts now.
You're watching ABC7 News at 11.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Jacqueline Matter. It's now official. Northport has a new police chief. Todd Garrison was sworn in earlier this evening after being named the chief last month. ABC7's Rick Adams joins us live from the Northport Police Department where he caught up with the new chief. Rick?
Yeah, Jacqueline, the new chief is very excited. He's really looking forward to getting started.
The duties of police chief
of the Northport Police Department, on which I am about to enter. So help me God.
With that, Todd Garrison officially becomes the Northport Police Chief. Family, friends, colleagues, city officials, and residents packed the city commission chambers for Garrison's swearing-in ceremony.
It's a big day. I come from a long line of police officers. My dad's been a cop for 50 years. I'm third generation. So this is the pinnacle of my career.
The 45-year-old Garrison has 26 years experience in law enforcement, and he most recently worked for the Lee County Sheriff's Office as a captain and a district commander. He beat out dozens of candidates during a search that lasted many months. He tells us he's excited about the challenge of running this busy department in the southern part of Sarasota County.
My strategies are pretty much in line with what Northport's already doing. I believe in community policing. That's going to be a focus of my tenure, and intelligence-led policing is how we're going to target crime.
Garrison replaces Kevin Vespia, who retired at the end of March. Captain Chris Morales had been interim chief. Both Vespia and Morales were on hand to welcome Garrison. Residents we talked with are happy about having a new police chief in place.
Speaking to him, he is a real, what I call a cop's cop, and is very supportive of community and government, so I'm thrilled.
Garrison's salary will be $125,000 a year. He tells us he can't wait to get started.
I'm really fortunate to walking into an agency that's very well established. So I'm looking forward to the bonds and the relationships that are already established in the community and building on those community partnerships.
And Garrison says his first order of business is to meet his team and then meet the community. Reporting live from Northport, I'm Rick Adams. Jacqueline, back to you.
Rick, thank you. The threat of an active shooter with stronger weapons has some members of the Sarasota community trying to get better protection for local police officers. The Sarasota Police Foundation is trying to raise $50,000 for ballistic vests like this one. They're called Level 3. Police currently use Level 2. Supporters say they're trying to avoid having police use tax dollars.
The target is $50,000 to basically equip all the sworn officers, about 170 people, with what they call plate carriers or ballistic grade vests.
Is this kind of a sign of the times, Jeff?
Well, I think it is. I think we're seeing a lot more violent activity in the media throughout the country. And we want to make sure that our law enforcement officers are as well protected as possible.
For more information on that fundraiser, head over to our website at mysuncoast.com. Members of area law enforcement agencies will pair up with local kids for a morning of fishing in Palmetto. At 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, the Bridging the Gap Youth Fishing Tournament will be held on the Palmetto side of the Green Bridge. Kids ages 10 to 17 can take part. They'll each get t-shirts, gift card prizes for the longest, smallest, most, and largest fish in their very own fishing pole. The hope is for law enforcement to build a relationship with the children whose communities they serve. And with more details on what that weather may look like for that fishing tournament, let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob?
Well, it's a good chance we're going to see some showers, hit or miss, a variety of showers and a few isolated thunderstorms moving through in the morning hours because we're in this weird pattern with a westerly wind because the high pressure been knocked down to our south now, and it will allow for a few passing showers to develop, a little bit more so after sunrise, and hopefully they'll get it in. We will see though those showers around in places. Now, some rain just to the southwest of Minnesota Beach, and this is pushing onshore. Bad news for down there, too, because all the red tide that they're seeing, especially in South Sarasota County, we have this steady west wind. It brings a lot of the effects and the harmful impacts onto the area beaches. Well, the rain was spotty today, not our normal coverage of storms that you would expect. Siesta Key, at least the north end, had a couple of rounds of some passing showers earlier. Also up near Bayshore Gardens. And current conditions, it's still pretty warm out there and muggy as well. 81 degrees. It feels much warmer as a result of you seeing the dew point temperature at 77 now. Winds are calm. There's not much breeze out there, but there's generally a westerly component and flow. The forecast models are suggesting, again, some showers starting to redevelop after 4 or 5 in the morning and then move on shore during much of the mid-morning and then taper off again later in the afternoon with heavier activity well inland. Bigger storms are well to our north. We'll explain what's going on with our weather and what we can expect for the weekend coming up in a few minutes. Jacqueline?
All right, Bob, thank you. A health warning tonight after a Sarasota man died from eating a raw oyster at a local restaurant. That oyster was contaminated with a bacteria called Vibrio, which is in certain situations can become flesh-eating. The man who died was 71 years old, which put him at risk for this bacteria. Florida health officials say the bacteria lives in salt water year-round, but is more common in the summer months. People can get infected by eating raw seafood or swimming with an open wound. One local chef says a good way to know when to eat raw oysters is by using the trick of eating it during a month that ends with an R.
Summertime, May, June, July, there are no R's in there. The water's warmer, and so the bacteria that is potentially hazardous to some people is more prevalent.
The victim died just 2 days after becoming sick. Health officials say if you experience any of the symptoms of this bacteria, such as diarrhea, fever, or a skin infection, seek medical care immediately. Well, a huge mess is all that's left behind at a Christian ministry in Bradenton. The executive director for the nonprofit Downtown Ministries says someone went through their trash can and emptied everything out. The donations were thrown all over the street and urinated on. Food was smashed and all the clothing bags were ripped open.
It's been happening a couple times a week, to be honest. They come in the trash, they pull it out. One time they actually we had a bunch of old donuts in there that had been donated that were no good. And they took one bite out of 50 donuts and then scattered and smashed the donuts all over the ground.
Monroe says that while this is not the first attack on the facility, it is the first time they've urinated on everything in addition to the vandalism. They will be checking the surveillance cameras to find the culprits, and they've asked police to patrol the area more frequently. The family of a Manatee County man who died while riding his bicycle is hoping for the public's help after an act of vandalism. Nicholas Wilson was hit and killed by a car while riding his bike on Lorraine Road in Lakewood Ranch last month while training for a triathlon. His family placed a white bicycle memorial at the site of the crash. Recently, they learned that memorial had been vandalized. If you have any information as to who may have done this, call the Manatee County Sheriff's Office. Now to a follow-up on a wrong-way crash on I-75 in Sarasota County yesterday. The Sheriff's Office arrested a convicted felon after she fled from deputies, driving off in the wrong direction, causing a head-on collision on the interstate. Jacqueline Burge was then taken to Venice Hospital. Deputies say they found drugs and narcotic equipment in her car. She's now facing 9 charges and remains in custody tonight. New developments involving the investigation into the death of a Northport toddler. An autopsy is being conducted to determine the official cause of death for 20-month-old Ava Perry. Police are now working with the Department of Children and Families on that investigation. Police say the little girl was playing with her sister in her family's backyard yesterday morning when she disappeared. Police found her a few hours later in a canal about half a mile away from her home. That canal also borders the little girl's backyard. When police found her, she was still alive, but Ava died as she was rushed to the hospital. Police are still talking to the child's parents about what exactly happened. Now to a follow-up to a story we broke last week. A 7-year-old boy ended up in the hospital after he was left abandoned at a Bradenton summer camp. Since our story aired, we heard from several other parents with similar stories. Lynette Kendall grew up at GT Bray Park, so she and her sister sent her kids to summer camp there this year. Kendall says they had a horrible experience. In one instance, her mother walked out of the park with her son, and she says not a single counselor noticed. Kendall did not want to go on camera, but this is what she did have to say.
My mom came on her lunch break to check on him, and she called me and told me that 3 counselors were under the pavilion on their phones not paying attention. So I told her to walk off the field with my son, and she already told me she had my niece with her. So she walked off and they were unaware until she went inside to make a complaint.
Kendall says she pulled her son out of camp the next day. The Sarasota County School District has a new Director of Leadership. Carol K. Brown is taking over the position previously held by Dr. Wendy Katz. Brown has worked as a teacher and a principal in Tampa for almost 20 years. District officials say Brown has won many awards for her work and for her students' work, and they're happy to have her as an addition to their team. And you may have the chance to meet all of the school board candidates in the same room at the same time. All 8 candidates for the Sarasota County School Board are invited to a forum next month at Selby Library. That event is open to the public and starts at 5 o'clock on August 6th. The candidates will have a chance to meet and greet with guests, and they'll also respond to questions from the audience. There's a big effort to keep kids on the learning track during summer months. That's why the Manatee YMCA is partnering with the Suncoast campaign for grade level reading to make sure kids aren't falling behind.
They are one of the 80 summer camps that are part of the Suncoast Summer Book Challenge that encourages children to read 6 books over the summer.
Some children have more than surpassed that challenge of 6 books by reading 80 to 100 books. All kids at the Y read for 30 minutes a day to help close that summer learning gap. Well, stay with us. Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your first alert forecast. Plus, MGM Resorts says it's not to blame for the mass shooting in Las Vegas last year and wants a judge to make that official. Plus, we'll introduce you to a local teen who's on her way to Washington to meet the president.
About every 3 minutes in America, someone is diagnosed with a blood cancer. Light the Night brings together survivors and supporters to bring light to the darkness of cancer and to help fund life-saving research. Our goal is a world without blood cancers, and we're lighting the path to cures. The discoveries made in blood cancer research have led to breakthrough treatments for many cancers and other serious diseases. Help defeat the darkness of cancer. Join Light the Night today.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Picking out a new ceiling fan? That's a do-it-yourself. Installing your new ceiling fan?
No.
That's a don't do-it-yourself. For ceiling fans, rewires, or anything electrical, play it safe. And call on the trained electricians from your locally owned Mr. Sparky. It's no accident that so many of our customers are repeat customers. Trust Mr. Sparky for all your electrical repairs.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Sarasota Oxygen and CPAP is the largest locally owned CPAP supply company in the area. Is it time to replace your old equipment? The staff at Sarasota Oxygen and CPAP can show you the most up-to-date CPAP equipment and supplies to meet your sleep apnea needs, including portable travel devices and the SoClean automatic CPAP sanitizer. We serve all of Southwest Florida, giving the highest quality of care with the finest CPAP equipment. Please visit our website, sarasotacpap.com.
Did you know that a dirty CPAP system can make you sick? If you knew what could be growing in your mask and hose, it would keep you up at night. Now SoClean.com has released the world's first and only automated hands-free CPAP cleaner and sanitizer. With its patented design, SoClean is fast, effective, and hands-free, killing 99.9% of all CPAP germs. Try SoClean now through this special TV offer free for 30 days. Just call 800-604-0398.
My health has improved. It's simple to use, and I'm not worried about infections.
SoClean works on all CPAP machines and popular masks, destroying CPAP bacteria, viruses, and germs without the daily hassle of washing your system by hand. Just place your mask in, close the lid, and in just minutes, voila! Sanitized and ready to use. Try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. This is a limited time offer. Call now, 800-604-0398. Or visit SoClean.com today.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Well, Bob, I know you touched on this a little bit yesterday, but even when we leave the studio here at night after the show, it is still hot out there.
It just hits you, and it's so cold in here, so it's not too bad.
Right.
We get out there and say, this is all right. We are looking at some isolated showers. That's it today. And here's one from the tower cam. Right around 7 o'clock, brief shower moved through, and then the skies parted just in time to allow for a pretty nice sunset from our tower cam time lapse. And really, you see those clouds off in the distance. That's what we're looking at. Showers will pop up here and there. It'll be difficult to pick exactly where on the Suncoast, but we will definitely see some morning showers once again. And as they move inland, a little bit better chance to generate some lightning. So that fishing tournament, obviously there in Palmetto, have to keep an eye on the sky. Terracea is getting another nice shot. Susan Humphreys. A frontal boundary and a trough brings rain. Now rain pretty heavy to the north of us. We'll be on the tail end of that, so we'll get some rain here. Some of it will be heavy at times. There's no doubt about that, but I don't think we're going to see the widespread rain and flooding problems and concerns they may see over north central Florida. Rain chances will be higher there. And then occasional showers over the evening hours and in the morning for the next several nights. Now, a little drier air moving in on Friday, especially on Saturday. Saturday appears to be the best of the 2 days of the weekend. Once in a while, you'll see something pop up there in the Gulf of Mexico. Hit or miss, light rain showers anticipated. A little bit better action, I think, developing after 3 a.m. At 3 a.m., we'll start to see more showers start to pop up. There's one little rainstorm just to the southwest of Minnesota Beach, but really the rain coverage wasn't all that impressive today across the west central coast of Florida, a little higher to the north of us. Moisture, well, it's plenty. There's plenty of it here all across Florida now. That dry air has been pushed southward along with a large area of high pressure. Now, typically you get a trough in the Gulf of Mexico. This time of year, you got to keep an eye on it. There's a potential for tropical development on the tail end of it. And the European model is suggesting we may see something pop up out of here. Not for us so much, but there it goes up along the Mid-Atlantic coast states and then right on into New Jersey and New York. Now, it's not going to be a big system, but it will bring some moderate to heavy rainfall there. And the European model, fairly accurate when it comes to predicting a low pressure that soon as far as the timing goes within the next 3-4 days. So I think we're going to get a pretty wet weekend over the Northeast. For us, showers in the morning, periodically, moving on through, pretty good clip. So we don't expect a lot of accumulation, but bigger storms to the north over Georgia and North Florida anticipated. And this is, again, some heavier weather over north central Gulf of Mexico, making its way toward Jacksonville, Gainesville, and Daytona Beach on Thursday and Friday. But for us, a little bit less action on Friday. I think a little bit more sunshine, too. Saturday, as I said, the rain chance started to drop. It's 88. That's what it feels like out there under mostly cloudy skies. It is calm. The pressure, 30.02 inches. High today was 1 degree shy of the average simply because we had the clouds around and a little bit of rainfall. 0.09 of an inch. That's all we could squeeze out of the showers that moved over the airport. We're over a ½ inch below average and over 2.5 inches below average for the year. Temperatures cooler. This is really cool in places like Cleveland and Toronto. It's going to get cooler too as low pressure is kind of parked over the Great Lakes, and will keep temperatures on the cooler side over the next couple of days. For boaters tomorrow, not much out there for the wind for the sails. We'll see seas running 2 feet or less, a light chop on the bays and inland waters. Here's the extended forecast, and I mentioned pretty good chances for showers and a few isolated thunderstorms tomorrow coming in from the Gulf. It tapers off a little bit on Friday and then less even still on Saturday. Sunday, a little weak system moves by and brings our rain chances up, and they stay high right on in through Wednesday of next week. I think by Monday, but more so Tuesday, we'll get into those afternoon and evening storms from central Florida moving back to the west coast, which is normal, but we haven't seen much of that this year. Jacqueline?
All right, Bob, thank you. MGM is raising eyebrows in its defense against victims from the October 1st mass shooting who are suing or threatening to sue the casino. It's suing them right back. Kathleen Jacob explains the position behind that lawsuit.
Is claiming the MGM and Mandalay Bay have no responsibility or liability for what happened on October 1st. Around 1,000 victims are now listed as defendants, and the MGM says any case against them should be dropped, citing the Safety Act of 2002 as protection. The act limits liability in any mass shooting or terrorist attack to protect companies from going out of business.
This is the most reprehensible conduct by a defendant under circumstances like this I've ever witnessed in more than 30 years.
Robert Eglett represents these victims and says the Safety Act doesn't apply to MGM.
It wasn't meant to provide immunity for a hotel casino who's had woefully inefficient security process that didn't, all the bells and whistles that were going off that they didn't catch.
In a statement, the MGM says they're doing this to provide a timely resolution for the victims, but Eglett says that's not true.
They have no interest whatsoever in the victims. They haven't, well, their number one and only priority is their money.
Eglett also claims MGM is not happy with the judge assigned to their case in Las Vegas and that this is an opportunity to shop around for a new judge.
And MGM is just trying to skirt their responsibility and try to get some federal judge who they think will be favorable to them rule that, oh yeah, they have immunity, and they have no immunity here.
That was Kathleen Jacob reporting. A shooter killed 58 people and injured almost 500 more while firing from a room at Mandalay Bay. MGM's lawsuit does not seek any money from the victims. Here in Florida, the foundation that's building a memorial at the site of the Pulse nightclub shooting in Orlando is looking for design ideas. That memorial will honor the 49 people who were killed at the nightclub. The One Pulse Foundation is looking for ideas on how to best remember the victims and also educate visitors about tolerance. Organizers say the ideas should touch on architecture and landscape. Submissions will be accepted through the end of August. A woman accused of killing another woman who looked like her was in court today. Lois Reese had her finger, palm, and footprints taken following the court's requirement to submit these last week. The 56-year-old has pleaded not guilty to first-degree murder in the death of Pamela Hutchinson in April. Police say Reese killed Hutchinson because they looked alike, so it would be easier to steal her identity. The state says it will seek the death penalty if she's convicted. She's due back in court here in Florida on October 31st. An update now on the Florida citrus industry, which has been struggling since Hurricane Irma hit last year. Today, Governor Rick Scott asking the Legislative Commission to approve more than $300 million in federal funding for state citrus farmers, a grant that comes from the U.S. Department of Agriculture. The legislature has the chance to give the full grant to the farmers or only part of it. They'll decide that amount given tomorrow. The Sarasota County Supervisor of Elections has a reminder for voters. The deadline to register or change party affiliation for the upcoming primary election is Monday, July 30th. Applications must be signed and returned in person or postmarked by the July 30th deadline. An application may also be submitted online or through any driver license or tax collector office. Well, a Sarasota teen will travel to Washington, D.C. this weekend after she was chosen to represent the state of Florida by Girls Nation. 16-year-old Emma Bella Rudd leaves Saturday for the nation's capital, where she'll get a chance to meet with members of the Senate as well as President Trump to discuss laws, the state of our nation, and much more. For Rudd, this opportunity is a dream come true.
Ever since I was 11 years old, I've been inspired to be into government and going up to Washington, D.C. every year. So being able to take it a step further, meet the president, go actually in the Capitol Hill, this means the world to me, and it's just a step towards my future.
After Rudd returns from Washington, she'll sit down with ABC7's Alan Cohn to tell us about her trip. Well, sports is next, but first, here's what's coming up on Jimmy Kimmel.
Tonight, Kimmel's Where the Magic Happens.
I'd watch an hour of that.
With Irvin Magic Johnson.
Sure, I don't get into trouble today.
Plus, Lakeith Stanfield and Jimmy share an intimate moment.
It's fun to be new.
Emmy-nominated Jimmy Kimmel Live, new tonight on ABC.
Excuse me a minute. Hi, Dad. No, don't try to get up.
Hi, I'm Julie, a right-at-home caregiver. And if I'd been caring for Tom's dad, I would have noticed some dizziness that could lead to balance issues. That's because I'm trained to report any changes in behavior, no matter how small. So Tom could have peace of mind.
We'll be right there. We have to go.
Hey, Tom, you should try Right at Home. They're great for us.
The right care, right at home.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beauty Rest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare.
You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
I witnessed him have 2 heart attacks in ICU. He went through seizures.
We'd much rather have Aaron like this than dead. A lot of parents don't have that luxury.
He can't talk. He can't walk. This is a condition Aaron will live with for the rest of his life because he abused prescription pills.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish!
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Now, sports.
A lot of memorable moments at tonight's ESPY Awards. Danica Patrick making history as the show's first ever female host. Some of the prominent nominees include Yankees' Aaron Judge, Eagles' Nick Foles, Sixers' Ben Simmons, and many more. Some notable awards went to the Houston Astros. For Best Team and Best Olympic Moment went to Shaun White. The coaches from Marjorie Stoneman Douglas all won the Best Coach Award. Their families were there to honor them. And all of Larry Nassar's victims took the stage in unity as they were presented the Arthur Ashe Courage Award. Well, San Antonio has traded 2014 NBA Finals MVP Kawhi Leonard to Toronto for 4-time All-Star DeMar DeRozan. In a blockbuster deal, the trade ends the drawn-out saga regarding Leonard's future in San Antonio. He appeared in only 9 games with the Spurs last season, and any doubt about whether there was a disconnect between him and the team was answered earlier this offseason when he asked for a trade. Leonard can become a free agent next summer, which means there's no guarantee that he'll be in Toronto for very long. Well, Darrelle Revis is retiring after 11 NFL seasons. The star cornerback with the New York Jets and a Super Bowl winner with their arch rivals, the Patriots, announced today on social media that he was ending an 11-season career that included 4 All-Pro selections. That's a look at sports tonight. We'll have your winning lotto numbers straight ahead.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Sarasota Oxygen and CPAP is the largest locally owned CPAP supply company in the area. Is it time to replace your old equipment? The staff at Sarasota Oxygen and CPAP can show you the most up-to-date CPAP equipment and supplies to meet your sleep apnea needs, including portable travel devices and the SoClean automatic CPAP sanitizer. We serve all of Southwest Florida, giving the highest quality of care with the finest CPAP equipment. Please visit our website, sarasotacpap.com.
If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, and you're struggling to pay your bills while your case is dragging on, that's where Oasis Financial comes in. Only Oasis has Oasis Express Cash that can get you from $500 to $25,000 in as little as 24 hours, faster than anyone else. There's no risk and no out-of-pocket cost.
It was so simple. I made one phone call,
Oasis was able to give me the money within 24 hours.
To pay for my electric bill, my rent, and my groceries for my children.
And even if you end up losing your case, Oasis lets you keep the money. So there's absolutely no risk to you. You don't have to worry about repaying Oasis.
If I had lost my case, then I wouldn't be responsible for paying the money back. And that was a blessing.
Oasis, they killed it, man. They helped me out. They gave me my life back.
See how much money you can get before your case settles. Call Oasis Financial because life moves faster than your case. 1-800-874-8185. 1-800-874-8185.
The Florida Lottery winning numbers are sponsored by Frontier Fios.
An Arizona couple's wedding photos are going viral. The bride's soon-to-be husband was a bit nervous about seeing his bride in her wedding dress for the first time, so she asked her brother for the ultimate wedding favor to wear her wedding dress and surprise the groom for their first look wedding photos. Could you imagine if you turned around and you didn't see quite the person you thought you were marrying? I've actually filmed some friends at their first look photos during a video, and I don't even know how they would react if they were to see somebody else.
I can understand why it's going viral, though. That's funny. That's a funny story. Some showers around tomorrow morning periodically throughout the day. The computer forecast model is a little overdone there, but we are looking at pretty decent weather on Friday.
Okay, looking forward to it. Thank you so much, Bob. And thanks for joining us tonight. We'll see you right back here tomorrow evening. Have a good one.